everybody getting themselves into on this sunny Sunday? You already know we right here at work decided to hop on chopping it with individuals. See what's the talk of the town. It's going down the one the curve. You heard me. Let me just set this up. Here in Southern California, it is a hot as fuck day. So we're like in the hundreds. So it's fucking hot still. This weather ain't no joke. But that's summertime here in Cali, right? Oopsie. Now, for those who are curious, I did drop a new video here in this channel, right, regarding the whole Tommy Guns, the Chicano rapper. And on my other channel, I dropped the freestyle if you guys want to scope that out. What's lacking, Mr. Pasa? Is definitely up in the casa for the raza. What's good, Loke? What you getting yourself into? Lokin, token, provoking? You already know, my boy. We chilling like a villain. We chilling right now. It's hot as fuck. Oh, Seti? That's right, my boy. It's good or what? Hey, it don't hurt, my boy, once in a while. Gotta loosen up somehow. You know what I mean? Gotta call off work. Is what it. All right. Got given the day off. That's right. Oh, serio? It's more powerful or what? I gotta try that one then. I haven't seen that one like where I'm at though. Nah, I haven't seen it like in like where I get my beer. That's the first time that that was the first time that I had ever heard of it. Like, oh shit, it's stronger than Mickey. Orale, but with a good taste or what? Cause I know there's some beer that's strong, but but then it tastes like shit. Like the Hurricanes or the 211s. I don't like 211s are nasty. Anyone looking to buy I got one for sale. A rattlesnake? Why? When you could just get one for free in the streets? There's all kinds of rattlesnakes out there. I don't know. It depends. Does it know how to do the Stone Cold Stunner? I skipped right the buy. And oh, did he? Yeah, Mickeys are good. Oh, it's trained. He can do tricks. Like wait, like the Stone Cold Stunner, the DDT. You can use him as a belt. I don't know about a rattlesnake. I don't know about a rattlesnake as a pet though. Aren't they highly aggressive and venomous? Rattlesnakes aren't even legal to have. Nah, but the legal part, that's the least of the worry. I mean, there's a lot of people that own all kinds of illegal stuff. We're more concerned about if the snake's actually gonna bite us and kill us than getting arrested for it and getting probably a fine and a ticket. Imagine gangbanging with a rattlesnake. Shit, you'll have them shook, my boy. You run up on them with a rattlesnake. Hey, what's up, homie? Where you from? Fucking snake right there. Like, look, boy, I don't want any problems, my boy. Like, what you mean you ranked it? My boy, that fool had a rattlesnake. I'm down to dodge bullets, but a rattlesnake? Nah, my boy, that's a whole nother level. And beer at the club are expensive as fuck. I'd rather. Yeah, that's true, bro. Yeah, you'll definitely go broke at the club with their prices. One fucking beer, they want like $30. A la verga. Have you ever tried? Oh yeah, Mad Dogs and the Cisco's and my boys. That's what we used to drink back in the days. AMD 2020s. I put them on my neighbor's mailbox as a joke. He made a big thing out of it. So like, don't you hate when people can't take jokes like that? Like when you just like put a rattlesnake, you know? It's kind of like the people that get like fucking, offended when you throw an alligator through a fucking drive-through window. Like, come on, man, can we take a joke? Fucking woke people. No mames. What kind of a joke is that, my boy? Could it come with a fart joke or a gay joke or some shit like that? A prank maybe, like where you put a whoopee cushion or pull my finger type shit, no? Even with the jokes, they're on another level nowadays. A la verga. Rattlesnakes can't be tamed. Yeah, I figured that much, because aren't they one of the most aggressive snakes that there is? Kind of like a zebra. You really can't tame them. Okay, yeah, you can tame a horse, but you can't tame a zebra. Motherfuckers will not let you ride them. What's cracking like it, Rogelio? What's good, my boy? Shout out to the Tiny Boys and the whole East Side. Whoa, whoa. They made a kid like that. Some ran up on some guy, robbed him with an alligator. No mames. And that would be different, bro. You'll catch them off guard. They're just like, man, you probably wouldn't even know what to do in that kind of scenario. That motherfucker had an alligator, homie. Shit was no joke. Hey, bro, good to see you. See me again. Question. What do you look for in a man? That. Good one. Hey, you think of every job I bring you. I sort of pop up. Haha! What's cracking like in Derek? What's good, my boy? What you getting yourself into? Hello there. It didn't even get better. We're just being that fucking pussy don't know how to take a joke. That fool, the fucking snake was just trying to blow that fool a kiss, and he was making a big ass deal. I don't know, my boy. Maybe he's not used to having snakes around him. I don't know how that is. In life, you're always gonna have snakes around you. That's right, my boy. Enjoying it. That's good. In your opinion, do you think California is getting worse? No. Anybody that says California is getting worse is delusional. Like, do you mean more expensive wise, or do you mean in like crime related wise? In crime related wise, no. In price, yes. But I think that's not just in California, but I think that's just everywhere, in general. It's like, once I think California is getting worse, it's like, I wonder if they have ever had gone outside during the 90s, like later 80s, 90s, 2000s. Like, if they ever were outside at those times, like, because for those who were out there in those times, man, bro, that shit was cracking. It was cracking, homie. You know what I mean? It is nowhere near as close to being how it was then. Numbers show it too, statistic wise, right? Homicide, and all those like robberies and all that has gone down. It still happens, it still occurs, you still see it, but just not as frequently. I know, but the internet, the internet has this problem where if you really wanted to, and just like getting clips of different events that happen, whatever, you can make any fucking city look really, really bad, but it really isn't as bad as like they make it seem on the internet. You look like the stray cats. The cat Felix. Oh, gracias. Meow. Imagine running up to fools with a chainsaw. No mames. Hold up, fool. Hold up. Hold up, my boy. Ooh, you gonna get it. Watch. By the time that shit turns on, motherfucker's already gone. The concert last night. And friends, it was Cypress Hill. Orale, alright. Brother Ali is gangster, my boy. He gets down in rapping. Brother Ali is, he's top tier when it comes to rapping. That fool can rap his ass off. Freestyle like a motherfucker, too. His freestyles are phenomenal. I tip my hats off to him. Always keeping it one. Extra salsa. What's good, my boy? What's going on? You like it, Eric? My boy, that's all we can do. What do you think about Sammy Ojo? The actor. Is he the one that plays fucking Nick Fury? Yeah, huh? That's him, no? The fool from Pulp Fiction? He's cool. His movies seem to be cool. Been listening to a lot of Conejo's music lately. Now I see why you guys respect my favorite song. Or Another Fallen Soldier. It was again. Yeah, his music's cool. I know a lot of people. He has a big, strong, fan base. I think what stands out about his music compared to like other rappers is his unique style and his unique selection of beats. It didn't sound like every other Chicano rapper. It sounded more, dark and sinister, to it. He had a different way of just phrasing his lyrics that made him stand out. Imagine there's a grown man in his 40s traveling to another state to meet another vato in his 50s. He met a YouTuber to have a sleepover. Oh, Los Angeles. Damn, serio, my boy? I don't know about all that. I ain't doing all that. Shit. I wouldn't even travel to another state to visit my fucking family. Let alone another YouTuber. Maybe they must really enjoy YouTube. Maybe it's where they spend their time. It's where they hang out. Maybe they don't got no one to hang out in real life. I don't know. It was a state. Orale, okay. Did they bust a freestyle? Homeboy that put in work with a crossbow. Damn, he couldn't afford a cohete. Damn, shit. But a crossbow? Damn, that's crazy, homie. You just see his homie right there with a fucking, standing with a kawama, an empty 40. Fire! You just see the arrows? Ah, vergas. You grab the hubcaps. Like, calmate, Spartacus. They call that fool Hawkeye. Calmate, Green Arrow. Those are savages. Busting a drive-by with a slingshot. They would just use the slingshot. They would put the bullet instead of a rock. It was the bullet. On the slingshot. Shit. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, my boy. I ain't mad at you. Brother, he's from India. Yeah, he gets down, bro. In freestyling, bro. In freestyling, he's really hard to beat, bro. He's, like I said, he's top tier in freestyle. Maybe his tracks maybe are not all that successful, but in freestyling, my boy, he can hang with the best of them. No lie. What do you think about the rapper? I think I heard one song from his that was pretty alright. What are your thoughts on Mohawk Matt? But when white and Pinta, nice. An affiliate wrong with American Joe? I really don't, have much thoughts on him. Like I really don't know his story or exactly like really his whole thing. Um, but it's irrelevant to me. Stupid Young goes another in the bin instead of Crip. Stupid Young goes other instead of in the bin instead of Crip. Does he? I don't know. I don't know. To be honest with you, I personally do not, think that that's cool, right? I mean, if you're a homie, you're a homie. You're supposed to be riding with the homies, but it is what it is. That's just my personal opinion. But who am I? Because I have homies that are from my neighborhood that are white, but they rode homies. They were homies in there. Same with blacks and same with anybody else, right? But it is what it is, Carnal. Or 36 Mafia. Oh, 36 Mafia is down. Sipping on some scissor. Oh no, that's Project Pat. Same shit, no? Kind of. Project Pat might as well have been in that damn group. I always thought Conejo was a Chicano rapper version of Brother Next. There you go. Yeah, he's kind of like that. His estilo is kind of like that. Conejo got hate because of Texas Capone. Oh, I think I remember a Capone from Texas. Really? Conejo gets hate? That's trip. I see anybody, really have hate for him, Said that little, conflict that they had with, whatchamacallit, high power thing. Would you consider Woody a Chicano rapper? Would I consider Woody a Chicano rapper? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Because he would associate and comes from the Chicano culture. Regardless if he's a white northerner, he's still, this was his lifestyle in this side of the of the way of living. Same with Capone and anybody else that is from a Chicano related neighborhood. Like I said, the lines become blurry when it comes to Chicano. When it's like, let's say, what's Chicano, right? Because people don't consider Pitbull, Fat Joe, Big Pun. They don't consider or Cypress Hill. They don't consider them Chicano rappers, right? But even though they have Latino or Hispanic roots to them, right? Not only that, but shit, they have albums in Spanish, all in Spanish, where they're talking about Cuete and Yesca and Locos and shit like that, right? That's how they're rapping, exactly like how these Chicanos rap over here, right? But they're not Chicano rap, though. And the argument that people use is like, well, they don't consider themselves Chicanos, though. Well, neither do some of these individuals, yet people still put them in the Chicano rap category, though. They're telling you they don't want to be put in the Chicano rap box, yet they still get put there. But these individuals don't, though. And it just doesn't make any sense, though. Like, well, look at the way they're rapping. Shit, they're rapping similar. They're using the same fucking lingo. But they're not, though. It just doesn't make any sense. Because Chicano rap is not the same thing as being like a Sureño rapper, right? Because Chicano and Sureño is not the same thing. Shit, just because you're Chicano doesn't mean that you have to be a gang member. Because Chicano and gang member is not the same thing either. Every time I mention Conejo, they said he was a norteño lover, no lie. Why? Because he gave his honest opinion about like the northern side, like, but it's true though. What he said was true though. I think only the ones that are stuck in that wannabe illusion would feel some type of way, because at least where the area down here, you don't see no norteños. Like if people told me if there's an enemy from a rival gang that Mavarro beefs it with, one of these gangs that Mavarro beefs it with, if they were to have him or they were to have a norteño, and they told me to get along with one of them, I would pick the norteño. The norteño never shot none of my homies, never shot me, never stabbed me, never smoked my boys, never, you know what I mean? Never had no issues with none of these individuals. This motherfucker, there's all kinds of animosity and shit there, right? So if I'm gonna at least choose to get along with one, I'm gonna, at least these motherfuckers never did nothing to me. You know what I mean? So how could you feel this animosity in this type of way towards these individuals when you never come across them, when you never see them, when you even forget that they exist? It's only when you come on the internet that you get reminded that there's actually something as a norteño. Because down here, fuck, nobody's thinking about them. You never hear that term. You never, ever have any their side of town never gets brought up in anything at all. Right? It's just like, oh yeah, there's norteños, I forgot. You know what I mean? I used to hate Woody simply because he. But why though? That doesn't make sense though. You don't like white people? I wonder why. Because it's not so much that. Because I understand people's view, right? It just doesn't make any sense though. It's like you can't blame all white people for some white people's actions. Just like, for example, there's some raza, there's some Hispanics, there's some Mexicans that are rapists and pedophiles, right? Okay, so there's, Mexicans that are pedophiles. So just because this person's a pedophile, does that mean that it's okay for now every other ethnicity to see all Mexicans as pedophiles? No, it's not, right? Like, you can't brand us all one type of way because of this individual's actions, right? Because it's not fair. It's not cool, because we're not all the same. So to try to brand us all the same because of these people's interactions or your interactions with them or their actions is not fair. So why do it to them? You know what I mean? That's what went to Cali from Washington. Oh, yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Hey, maybe it's a midlife crisis. Like, I always wanted to be a cholo. Now they get to fulfill their fantasy. I bust a freestyle. It was all right. Yeah, that's good. I started bumping Woody after he went. Yeah, Woody's got talent in rapping. Very talented individual. One of the more things that made him like very talented is the fact that he made his own beat, produced his own music, wrote his own music, and rapped. Right? So he literally did it all himself, which is very hard to do, because that shit is difficult to do, especially the beat making process. Especially in his time, in his era, where it was more difficult. Because now it's a little bit more easier, but back then it was a lot more difficult. So the fact that he did it all was actually pretty impressive. Do you know who Spartacus really was? Do I know who Spartacus really was? No. What's cracking like a dashboard? Did you look into the and this? No, actually I didn't. Hey, that's good, my boy. Hey, gotta hit them books and them classes, my boy. It ain't easy, especially with calculus and all that shit. I know you gotta stay locked in, focus. I seen some blacks say that being a black student makes no sense because being a senior is stepping stones. To being in as never had. Look, nine times out of 10, my boy. Anytime you hear anybody coming on here and speaking about any type of level of group like that, right? Like when we're talking about in the higher tier, category, doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, never take their word as like they're valid. You know what I mean? They 9 times out of 10, most individuals don't know what the fuck these fools have going on in their program. You know what I mean? as in the whole. Uh, it's people that don't have an understanding of how the game goes, right? It's kind of hard to explain if you don't really live it. Like for those who live it, understand what it is, right? But from the outside looking in, most people are just not gonna understand, or are not gonna want to understand, right? Because they feel what, however type of way about the situation in general. Yeah, I looked into his music. I scoped out one of his songs. Yeah, man. Oh, I don't know. I don't know about none of that. See, this is why I don't like talking about prison because then it starts to go into conversations that I have no clue about. I know nothing of none of this. I'm brown on the inside, but white on the outside. There's a lot of raza that's like that. What are your thoughts on the something else? Do they exist? I've seen people say they exist. I mean, if they exist, I mean, I never seen them or heard of that, right? But I don't know. I can't be everywhere, right? Right. But as far as I know, I never seen them and I never heard of that. But then again, it is the internet, and a lot of people could come and say a lot of things on here. I mean, I could say that there's sureños in fucking Atlantis. Nah, for real, bro. There's sureños in Atlantis. Real talk. See, is that easy? I hate Los Angeles because I was taught that they think they're better. You know what? That's one thing that I hear a lot of people say is that they feel like people from California or the Los Angeles area in general think that they're the shit or that they're better than everybody else when nobody moves around like that, right? I think people just assume that kind of thing just because um, of the all the spotlight that Los Angeles gets, right? Um, but that's only because it's home to like Hollywood and fucking and the birth of what's rap that's trending and shit like that, right? But people don't move around like that though. It's a business hub, so I think what it is because it gets so much attention that it bothers some people. No, but people don't have control of that though, right? No official norte goods. Yeah, I never heard of it. Like I said, yeah, I only seen a norteño down here once, right? And it didn't go good for him, right? But that was one time and ooh, long time ago. I seen some Cribs and Bloods hang out with nothing else and bring them to their hoods. That's all. Oh, as in like bring them. Oh yeah, that for sure is gonna happen. That for sure. Look, there's gonna be individuals like let's say there's homies whose cousins are norteños, and let's say they live in Northern Cali. I'm pretty sure that they come down here for family parties and family events. I'm pretty sure that that does happen. You know what I mean? That for sure has to happen. Just like there's homies from down here that go up north, to go, for whatever work or to fucking vacation or whatever the fuck, right? But yeah, of course that happens. Of course you have norteños that come down here and go to Disneyland and shit like that. Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. If people think that that's not true, then they're full of shit, bro. And they're in denial, right? But it's different saying you coming and visiting comparing to you trying to establish a neighborhood here. Put it like this: it's not even so much because they're a Norteño gang that it would be difficult for them to establish here. It's difficult for any gang to establish. Like, let's say if your gang goes to a different hood and tries to establish, it's going to be very difficult. The gangs around that area are going to make it very difficult, and it's not going to happen, right? Same when crews try to establish themselves, they find it really hard, right? It's just that there's so many different neighborhoods that the gangs around the area are not going to let you establish it. Not so much because you're a northerner, but because they consider that their area, and they're just not going to allow it. Period. You know, whether white, black, Asian or Hispanic gang, gangs are territorial, bro. They're just not going to let another neighborhood establish themselves there. You know, people find that, you know, very difficult to do. Not only that, but establishing a northern hood will be a lot more difficult than, let's say, you know, any other these other groups trying to establish somewhere else, right? Because now getting the recruitment process is going to be a lot difficult for you to try to recruit people to join your neighborhood when you're norteños, right? In down here, because of it, you know, you're surrounded by, you know, everybody else, right? So I don't really see them being able to recruit that many people because of those reasons. And if they're going to be gangbanging and putting in work, so most likely some of them are going to be getting busted, right? So I just don't see how they will be able to keep themselves up. Now, not to say that it's impossible, right? But I want to go for a better life. People always migrate north. Yeah, but to like visit, I'm saying, because there's a lot of stuff to do down here. But yeah, you know, it is chaotic. How much should I say Woody can really rap? No, I think Kid Frost, dope as fuck, especially no good. And yeah, Woody was a really, really good rapper. Really was. You know, very lyrical. Yeah, Kid Frost definitely. Even though I have my feelings towards the individual, because he, you know, individual's kind of a, you know, a dirtbag in my opinion, right? From personal experience. But I can't lie, he's a really good rapper though. He makes really good music. He does. He does. He's just a he has a, you know, a shitty persona. You know, he feels a sense of entitlement and like he's a shit. Tries to talk down on people, and you know, it's not the best strategy. People only might because they got the Kid Frost was a hater. Yeah, he was. Yeah, you know, from personal experience, he was not the best of individuals. But his music was dope, though. I ain't gonna lie. I can't take that away from him. No, he gets that. That's about smart just because you brought. No, I know. Yeah, Simon. Got enslaved and then. Órale, all right. You see, there's something else here, but they aren't the same as reality. I understand that that's how people are gonna feel about them, but they really are homies though. You know. But I'm not gonna try to come and convince you of that. You know what I mean? Um, but they are real homies. But I understand that people are gonna see them some type of way. But nonetheless, they are really homies though. They are really embraced and, you know, how could I say, certified. I mean, it's not that hard to believe. I mean, why can't they be like down, or why can't they be gangsters? I mean, norteños are from up north and they're gangster and down, right? So why can't, you know, these individuals be down again? Like, let's say if these individuals weren't to be southerners and they actually got jumped into norteño gangs, would that make them down now? And if they joined the southern gang, would that make them fake and not real sureños? But if they were to join a northern gang, they would have been real norteños, no? So, you know, in that sense, it really doesn't, you know. There we got through 5 minutes. Yeah, well, maybe some people, you know, maybe not for you, but I actually think he's a really good rapper, you know. But I understand, you know, it comes down to preference. Everyone's gonna feel that, you know, in different ways. Shadow, what are your thoughts on gentrification and how homies aren't leveling up their quota on to achieve a better life? Hey, actually, I'll make a video about that. That's actually a good topic. Norteños need a hood in the San Fernando Valley. There's plenty of. Nah, there's a lot of gangs in the San Fernando Valley. You know what I mean? I mean, I can't think of any space, right? But like I said, they'll just have a difficult time, you know, being able to achieve this. Not to say that it's impossible, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, my lunch break is over. We got to get back to it. It was good chopping it up with you guys, and we out.